Do not use ASAP tickets. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a little bit of a story time because we were actually supposed to go to Germany this last week and we were not able to. So we wanted to do this kind of as a PSA thing or just a warning in general for using third-party what are they called?
Travel agencies?
Yeah, third-party travel agencies. I don't know, I couldn't think of that. Unless you're using like an Expedia or a Orbitz or one of those big companies like Travelocity, whatever, we definitely suggest don't go through a third party unless you're going through these big companies.
Back in April or May, my mom booked tickets for us to go to Germany in July, and due to some passport issues and not having the proper documentation to get her passport after it expired, we rescheduled it to December, which is this month. So the trip was supposed to be from 12/7 to 12/15, so I believe that was a Saturday to Sunday.
Yeah.
And she wanted to give us 9 days because that includes traveling days as well. She always promised me when I was little, when I graduated college, that she would take me to Germany because that's where she's from. That's where she lived a few years of her life, and her family's from there. So she wanted to take us to Frankfurt, and then we were gonna travel to Berlin and Munich from there,
Yeah,
so we could see
like one big triangle in Germany.
Yeah.
Like you see the east side, the west side, and then like the south side. Mm-hmm. On Friday night, her mom's boyfriend was checking us into the flight, and it was kind of later in the evening because we were supposed to leave Saturday like evening.
at 4.
Yeah, like 4. And I had actually gotten off work early and I was just working out, and then Megan just calls me out of the blue. She's like, "It's urgent, I have to talk to you."
I got on the phone with my mom while he was working out, and she had told me that Ryan was trying to check into the flights and that there was no reservation on Delta's end. So after my mom's boyfriend realized that there was no reservation made through Delta, he got on the phone with ASAP Tickets, which is the travel agency that they used to book the tickets, while he was at work still. He was on the phone with them for hours while he was at work. His boss came in the room while he was yelling at them because he was so frustrated and they weren't helping. They finally told him that everything would be taken care of if we pushed the trip back a day and we came home a day later.
Yeah, so instead of going from Saturday to Sunday, we would go from Sunday to Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So then Megan calls me and tells me the information, and I'm like, yeah, that'll be fine. I'll just talk to my boss about it and just come in the next day. It's not that big a deal. Let's just push it and at least get to go. So Saturday morning, we decided to just kind of pack kind of leisurely because we had a lot of time in our hands and we weren't leaving until Sunday. From our end, we were like, all right, we'll pack. Everything's gonna be fine. We kind of assumed nothing was wrong, but we still were getting this kind of hint of like, hey, something still hasn't been resolved. And I think it's because Ryan was trying to check us in again, and when there was no reservation still, he was like, hey, we'll take care of this, don't worry, like we're still good to go. We still have the tickets for the airfare, but we don't have the hotel or the car rental that they had gotten. But we were like, you know what, at least we got to go.
And they ended up, ASAP Tickets ended up emailing him Saturday,
with
like
a confirmation that we were definitely leaving on Sunday.
Yeah, and I don't know, for whatever reason, Saturday night I did not sleep because I just had a feeling something was gonna go wrong.
Then it's Sunday morning, and we decide to just as early as we could to get to her mom's house, so that because they live way closer to the Dallas airport from our house. So we said, hey, we'll just get there early in the morning. If this thing's resolved, we'll just hurry to the airport. Everything will be fine. And as soon as we park and get there, we hear the familiar tone of the hold music. I remember looking at Larissa, which is her mom, mom's face, and she was on the verge of crying. And I was like, something's not right here.
Her boyfriend was the one, he was on hold. She also was calling them on her phone as well. She was on hold. And she just told us, she said we're still trying to get it taken care of, basically.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to leave at 4 at this point. It was...
Yeah, so it was kind of in the morning-ish. It was
like noon.
Yeah, like 11, 12 o'clock, still morning, just afternoon.
We were supposed to take an Uber from her house, so we got there with enough time to get an Uber.
Yeah, because for an international flight, they say to be there 3 hours early. And we thought, okay, if we're there by noon, that gives us plenty of time. That gives us 4 hours to get to the airport.
So then we found out while we were at her house that we needed a waiver from ASAP tickets to send to Delta to release the funds for our tickets.
While all of this is going on, Ryan is getting hung up on, keeps getting sent to different people.
Just transfer after transfer after transfer.
Yeah, just getting put in a music loop for tens of minutes at a time, to the point where he'd hang up, call again, and every time he would talk to someone, they would say, "Oh, it's because of the waiver." Then somebody else would say, "Oh, it's because we don't have a supervisor who can send the waiver because it's Sunday." Or then they would say, "Well, this is actually Delta doesn't have someone on staff who can take the waiver." Then it was, I mean...
We got every excuse in the book.
These are the times that we actually got someone on the phone, though.
Yeah.
Half the time, it was, like I said, it was just a loop all the time. And by this point, it was getting down to 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, and nothing was being resolved. And again, it was just story after story after story. And Ryan had been on the phone from 7 o'clock that morning, so he was on the phone for 12, 13 hours on one day trying to send what we thought was a waiver from ASAP tickets to Delta.
The last call that we had with him, that we finally said like we're not calling back after this, was the excuse that we don't have anybody here on staff who's authorized to send the waiver to Delta, so you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow, which was Monday.
Yeah.
They're like, somebody will definitely be here on Monday.
We thought, okay, I guess we'll just quit today and we'll try again tomorrow. So our plan was just go home, get some sleep, and we'll get there super, super early in the morning again, because we'll get the first flight that gets to leave, or the first flight that leaves to go to Germany, whatever, whether it's nonstop, 2 stops, it didn't matter. We were just gonna get in some plane. One of the things that we probably shouldn't have done was Megan and I were looking at reviews on Facebook and a thing called Trustpilot that they have as a third-party review source. We started scrolling through them, and it was the same exact thing. People were okay with using ASAP tickets, but it seemed like the second you have any issues, it's we don't know what to do. It takes 3 days for them to respond. It was just it was the exact scenario that we were going through. You know, the loop thing, getting hung up on, getting transferred all the time.
If you have any change with your trip
at all,
like you're not going, basically, because that was everybody's experience. We arrived to my mom's house super early on Monday morning.
Yeah.
As soon as we walk in, Ryan's
on the phone
hold
again,
or he's on the phone.
Yeah.
One of the two, and he tells us that he had already spoken to, I think he's like a supervisor or somebody who's higher up in ASAP tickets, and he was told that the supervisor was gonna be calling the airlines to make sure everything was okay, and that he would give him a call back in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, so like everything again was supposed to be taken care of and was supposed to be good.
Well, after he never called,
after a few hours,
we started calling. Basically, we were getting the runaround again.
Yeah, we were told that that person wasn't there that day.
That he was off. But
that he was off, but he had just talked to him a couple hours before.
One of the excuses we got was
we were no-shows.
Because we were no-shows
back in July,
that we're not able to go check into our flights and have a reservation and everything, because we never paid, and that we were no-shows. We never paid a penalty fee, which isn't true.
Yeah.
We actually paid $1,000 extra because we rescheduled back in July to December.
Ryan told us he paid $250 penalty per person because ASAP tickets had told him, based off not having the proper documentation, which was the passport that had expired, or her mom's passport, and we moved it to December, that the airline Delta requires you to pay a $250 penalty per person.
Yeah. So the no-show thing back in July was one of the excuses we got. Well, when we got another person after hanging up and calling back and being transferred several times, somebody else had told us that the night before, one of ASAP Tickets employees actually did send a waiver to Delta overnight.
Oh yeah. At this point, Ryan calls Delta because they're like, maybe he was thinking, maybe I can expedite this thing so we can get on a flight today. At this point, we kept pushing it so much that we were like, if we don't get on a flight today, we're gonna have to just cancel the whole trip. So again, to expedite the whole thing, Ryan ends up calling Delta. One of the things they told us is, one, we don't need a waiver. All that ASAP Tickets has to do is pick up the phone and call us, and we can book your tickets right now. I have literally booked your tickets. All they have to do is pick up the phone and call. We don't need a waiver. And in fact, on top of that, the person who was assisting us talked to their supervisor, and basically we were told we were getting the runaround just from ASAP Tickets. Delta didn't need any more information. They had a reservation. All they had to do was pick up the phone and book the reservation through Delta. So again, sorry, that was confusing. ASAP Tickets, all they had to do was pick up the phone and call Delta.
The lady at Delta, she kept saying, she obviously felt bad for us because she kept saying, let me see what I can do. Let me talk to my supervisor.
She was trying so hard to help us.
She was super, super, super nice. And she even said, because she knew that we were getting the runaround, she was the one who told us, oh yeah, you're getting the runaround. That she was going to notate our tickets, our ticket numbers.
Yeah. And
so that when ASAP Tickets looked at them, it would say like, all you have to do is call us and we can rebook these tickets.
That reminds me as well, one of the things that she had talked about was Delta actually does not charge anything for improper documentation, I think is what they called. So basically, if you don't have like a proper medical record or if your passport is expired, that $250 fee per person does not happen. So actually, ASAP Tickets ended up charging us $1,000 that they really knew they didn't have to send to Delta, that they just pocketed themselves. One of the things that Ryan had also done was buy traveler's insurance from the beginning because he knew that if anything happened with the passport, we could just move it later, to a later date. We actually we didn't even have to buy that because Delta said, we'll just rebook them without any explanation. So we didn't have to buy the traveler's insurance and we didn't have to pay the penalty from the beginning, even though ASAP Tickets told us we had to do it in order to book the tickets at a later date if anything happened.
At that point, it was already after 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we were all kind of starting to lose hope.
Yeah, and I think Ryan had looked, and we had looked. There was only like 2 or maybe 3 flights left maximum that left that day from DFW airport.
We figured that we probably weren't going to get on a flight that day, and the whole thing would be canceled. Ryan then got on the phone with ASAP Tickets for another 3, 4, 5 hours. And was just calling them out. He told them that he had already spoke to Delta supervisor and he told them all the information that Delta told us.
And just was pleading and begging with them, just pick up the phone and call. That's all you have to do. Just somebody, a supervisor, anybody, just pick up the phone and call them. And there was a handful of people
There was one, what are they called? Representatives, agents, whatever, from customer service who said, well, I'm a level 1 agent, can't do that. So she just transferred us and then we got the runaround from somebody else.
Getting promised that oh, you know what, we're gonna call right now, we'll call you back in 20 minutes and we'll have this figured out. And then never call. And
then he finally got I think it was like a supervisor who he had spoken to like Friday or Saturday, like a couple days before, whose name is Nathan. And Nathan told him, word for word basically.
Oh yeah.
Word for word, I'm done dealing with this. If you want to go on your trip, we can move it to next week.
Yeah.
But it'll be
a $680 fee per person.
So that's over $3,000 total for the 4 of us.
Including the $1,000 penalty that they've already charged us.
So an extra $3,000 for a week later. If not...
Goodbye. He said, if not, goodbye, and hung up the phone. And that's where
Then he got an email with those details if we wanted them.
Again, at this point, we had already spent the $1,000. We had traveler's insurance, and we're just trying to figure out where these people are coming up with all these fees. Our thought is that ASAP Tickets just makes up charges, and that's how they make profit. That has to be the only way.
So Monday evening, my mom was really upset because she felt like it was all her fault.
It wasn't, obviously.
It wasn't. I was really upset because this was supposed to be my graduation gift that we were supposed to go back in the summer and then got pushed back to now. And I was okay with moving it from the summer to now because it was gonna be Christmas time. You could see all the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
So I was okay with that, but just that it got messed up again and we were totally, I mean, they spent thousands of dollars and
just the hours on the phone alone too.
Yeah.
And he must have spent at least 24 hours on the phone with them if you count, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yeah.
At the very least.
So we were all just pretty upset. We left her house that evening and I immediately got on Facebook, left a review.
Oh God, I forgot about this.
On the Better Business Bureau, left a review, told Ryan that he needs to file a complaint with them.
Yeah.
Because we were even told by ASAP Tickets when we asked for a refund that was not possible and they were not.
That was not an option, is what we were told.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, we'll get them through the Better Business Bureau.
Bureau. He said brew.
Then I got them through Facebook. I left a review on Trustpilot.
Yeah, you need to tell them about Trustpilot.
Trustpilot is that review service.
Yeah, it's a third-party review service for just reviews. I don't know why I have to explain that.
Yeah.
One of the things with Trustpilot is it doesn't have to be, your comments don't have to be, sorry, I thought I saw a squirrel out there. One of your comments, or the comments that you put on there does not have to be reviewed, right, and approved, like, did you actually use this company? So one of the weird things about it is Megan left a very lengthy review for anybody out there to see. And one of the things that happened is like every, what would you say, how long?
Every like 5-10 minutes, there's a new review that pops up.
That's completely 100% positive, had a great experience.
It's 5 stars. There's so many grammatical errors, like not proper English.
It shows to me like they're using they're buying some like foreign company to write reviews whenever there's a negative one to bury it.
Because I had just left a negative one. They were like, we're just gonna bury it.
Within, I would say like 12 hours alone, Megan's comment was already like 3 or 4 pages deep.
Yeah.
Like they had buried it so quickly. And another thing that I saw was like, I'm sure most of you guys realize this, but like when you go to a review site like Yelp or whatever, there are going to be positive ones in there, obviously, but it's usually not overwhelming because usually when somebody has the negative experiences where they're more inclined to go to a website and actually review because they actually want to complain because they feel like they have no other recourse, right? For me, it should be a little bit, it was like I think on the website, it said it was 98% positive and like 2% negative. That's just not normal. And this company isn't so large that many comments should be going through. They
have 1,000 followers on Twitter.
But like, it's not even that though. Like, I mean, that is a good way to justify it, but like, who's heard of this place before? To me, it just shows that they're not that many people are traveling and 98% positive. They're just using some third party to write a bunch of comments, bury it, because we actually saw a second negative one come in, and within 24 hours you have to go through several next on page just to get to that negative review. I
did get a response to my Facebook post and my Better Business Bureau.
I have so much trouble with words. I'm glad I finally found one that you're not good at.
I got a response to both of those, and it was the same response that I got. They just copy and pasted.
Just basically still saying that we were in the wrong.
They were still lying. They were saying that they started talking about the waiver again.
Which again, Delta said there is no such thing as a waiver. They don't need that.
They said that we are misinformed, basically. Yeah. And that the whole waiver thing was on Delta because Delta didn't have anybody in the office on Sunday to help us, even though we spoke to Delta. They also said that our tickets were never rebooked in July because we didn't pay the penalty fee, which is not true. So I told them.
Which they sent us a receipt for.
Yeah.
ASAP Tickets sent us a receipt for the $1,000 penalty.
And that's when I said, we have a receipt from you. Do you want me to send it to you? Because I have it. And of course, no response.
Yeah.
My mom left a review. More lies.
Yeah.
So we decided at that point that we were just gonna go through the bank route, like get our money back through the bank.
Yeah.
Because we could prove that we never actually took the trip.
And we could show the receipts of how they're telling us that we never paid a penalty fee, but here's the receipt they sent us about how we paid the penalty fee.
And I screenshotted a bunch of other negative reviews that people that had the same situation as us, so we could show that if we needed to. A couple days later, my mom had told Frank and me that she got an email from them, or Ryan got an email from ASAP Tickets saying, hey, fill out this form so you can get a refund.
To start your refund.
I don't know, that was just a few days ago, so I don't know if anything has been done with that yet, but my mom just said, we'll see how this goes, because she doesn't think it's going to be very positive. But
yeah. All right, well, that's actually where it's ending. We're going to see how the refund process goes. I hope that it's not a runaround thing again, or how they never received a document or something crazy like that. Anyways, we're going to end the video here. We'll keep you guys posted how we get the refund and if there were any hurdles, but hopefully we don't have to make a second video about this. But if anybody Googles ASAP Tickets, please do not book with them.